I grew up a Democrat, and I've always been a Democrat until I met this man right here. I'll tell you what. He will not have to worry about nobody in my family ever vote for a Democrat again. Okay.
Now, that was a huge deal. That was Lawrence Taylor, the New York Giants NFL Hall of Famer, with President Trump in New Jersey on Saturday. LT showed up. Nobody in his family will ever vote for a Democrat again. Giants legend shows up next to Trump at rally, no longer a Democrat voter. NewJersey.com. LT, not looking bad. He's got a couple of years on him now. New York Giants legend Lawrence Taylor has added another sack to his ledger, this one on the Democrats. Speaking at former President Donald Trump's campaign rally at WildWood, New Jersey, Lawrence Taylor, alongside former Giants teammate Otis Anderson, told the crowd, a Giant crowd, that he has changed parties. I just wanted to say, he said, you just heard it, I grew up as a Democrat, always been a Democrat until I met this man right here, Lawrence Taylor said as he gestured toward Donald Trump. He will not have to worry, nobody in my family ever voting for a Democrat again. How about that? That's just great stuff. With 6 months until Election Day, Trump told the crowd he would win New Jersey, a famously Democratic state, which he lost twice by double digits and has gone blue. That's red is what it's really gone, because they're the left, they're red. I don't use red and blue because they are clearly red. USA Today, Hall of Famer Lawrence Taylor and former President Donald Trump are two peas in a pod. That's the headline there. Mike Freeman, who's a racist, and he typed up a little racist, an attack. It's not an endorsement on either one of them. It's an attack on both of them, naturally, because the news media is so filthy corrupt. Of all the bingo cards and all the bingo carded universes, none of them had Lawrence Taylor showing up at a campaign rally for Donald Trump. This isn't the weirdest thing to happen involving Trump. That list is long. It would stretch across oceans. This was, however, up there. A Hall of Fame linebacker who's a registered sex offender. See, he was a Democrat then. When he was a Democrat, he was all Democrat. Are all Democrats sex offenders, or just that most sex offenders are Democrats? Stumping for Trump. Imagine that. And this USA Today piece attacks Trump, attacks Lawrence Taylor. They got a black guy to do it, Mike Freeman, because, it's the news media's job. They're Democrat front groups. They shill. But Lawrence Taylor is a piece of work. There's no doubt about it. He always has been. But he was an incredible NFL player, and he's had an amazing life. And now he said he's left the Democrat Party, so now go and do not sex offend again. Aight? Sound like a deal? Good stuff. Lawrence Taylor, Newsmax TV. My family will never vote for a Democrat again. That's a pretty good quote from Lawrence Taylor. And that's the headline at Newsmax.com. Newsmax.com, which is where I'll be heading when I wrap up my radio show today, this afternoon. So it was quite a remarkable thing. Now let's get to President Trump, because this was quite a rally, I've got to say. It really was. And we were watching it on Newsmax, as a matter of fact, over the weekend. Quite remarkable things. And President Trump has got a lot going on right now, a lot of moving parts, a lot of it created by the Democrats. And there are such frauds and charlatans, and happy abusers of power. It's the only thing that makes them happy is abusing power. But let me start with this. The New York Times has a poll, all right? The New York Times has a poll. Philadelphia Inquirer has a poll. Siena College poll found that Mr. Trump was ahead of Joe Biden among registered voters in a head-to-head matchup against Joe Biden in 5 out of 6 key swing states, to include Pennsylvania, Georgia, Arizona, Nevada, Michigan, with Trump ahead, Trump ahead, Trump ahead, Trump ahead. Mr. Biden led among registered voters in only one battleground state, that's Wisconsin. The race was a little bit closer. Now, that's registered voters. If you look at likely voters, I don't know, if somebody called you, say, are you a registered voter? Yeah, I'm registered. Are you likely to vote? Nah. Why are you a registered voter if you're not likely to vote? I never understood that, but nevertheless, the poll numbers turn out differently. The race was closer among likely voters than it was among registered voters, with Mr. Trump leading in 5 states as well, but Biden edged ahead in Michigan. See, that's the jihad state. The Democrats have the big jihad vote there. The kill the Jews vote. Muslims, that's the thing. And their liberal sycophants, counterparts, But still, Mr. Trump ahead in 5 of those battleground states, and Biden pulling ahead slightly in Wisconsin and in Pennsylvania. But never mind that. Pretty interesting stuff. Let's go to President Trump, because the headlines are nearly 100,000 people pack WildWood Beach. It's down by Cape May on the ocean. That's the Atlantic Ocean for Democrats following along. Southern New Jersey, beautiful Cape May, and WildWood is just around the corner on the ocean from Cape May. Now, Donald Trump's WildWood rally ushers in an economic boom for the boardwalk. I bet it did. People coming from other states to go to this rally. People waiting. What was it? Thursday, people were lining up, right? There were on Thursday, people were lining up to get into this venue, and it was packed to the rafters, to the gunnels. It was wild, and the media, ABC6 in Philadelphia, nearly 100,000 people pack WildWood Beach for Donald Trump rally. Yahoo News, nearly 100,000 people. I think police set the number at 100,000 or more than 100,000, but the media wants to put it below 100,000, and so they will, because truth is not their line of work. And record-shattering WildWood crowd of 100,000. Likeable stuff. I mean, just great stuff. The New York Post has the story. Trump blasts Biden as total moron before crowd of 100,000 at New Jersey rally. Great stuff. The whole world is laughing at him, President Trump said. Now, let me go to some Trump sound bites here. And, it is a political season, and as awful as it is, and it's pretty awful, Democrats engaging in their lawfare attacks on Trump, trying to jail him and trying to humiliate him, trying to publicly embarrass by bringing in Stormy Daniels, and who's obviously a Democrat. Did they ask her if she's a Democrat when she was on stage? Did they ask her how many? I guess that wouldn't normally be a polite question of a woman, but, with her, it might apply. How many men have you had, sexual relations with? Because that's that's Bill Clinton's line, sexual relations. That means something else when Bill Clinton's talking about it. But let's go to President Trump from WildWood, New Jersey on Saturday with the biggest crowd in the history of big crowds, and remarkable event. It genuinely was. Also, it was sort of being hosted by a Republican congressman from New Jersey, Jeff Van Drew. Jeff Van Drew is the Republican congressman. He was originally elected to Congress as a Democrat congressman, and he changed parties because he's not completely out of his mind. Donald Trump, WildWood, New Jersey, Saturday.
Whether you're a Republican, conservative, independent, or even a registered Democrat, I'm asking for your help in saving America. Our country's in trouble. It's in big trouble. Instead of a Biden tax hike, I'll give you a Trump middle class, upper class, lower class, business class, big tax cut. And the Biden economic bust will quickly be replaced with a brand new Trump economic boom. We're going to have another boom like we had all across America. Millions of people in so-called blue states are joining our movement based on love, intelligence, and a thing called common sense.
Common sense? Common sense isn't. I happen to know for a fact that common sense is not very common at all. President Trump, it was a heck of a rally, and he was great. What did he go on for? An hour and a half. I think it was an hour and a half. Joe Biden can't stand for an hour and a half. He can't eat a bowl of porridge for an hour and a half, and he's not good at being president of the United States for an hour and a half either. He's not really good at anything, is he? No, he's not. And, what are the Democrats doing? Well, they're bringing Michael Cohen into the courtroom in New York to testify against Donald Trump today in the hope that they'll be able to smear him and slime him and that'll be enough for them. And they'll get the headlines that they want from a corrupt news media that plays along with the Democrat Party instead of acting as journalists act. President Trump telling you about the state of the world. We've got war in Europe, which we didn't have under President Trump. Russia invaded the Crimea in Ukraine during Obama, and Obama is useless and not on the side of Western civilization. He hates America. And then 4 years of Donald Trump, no war in Europe. Putin didn't invade anything. Hamas didn't attack anybody. Iran wasn't. Had just been funded thanks to Barack Obama with tens of billions of dollars. But they're funding Iran with money that they have access to thanks to Barack Obama, who's funding the world's number one state sponsor of terrorism. That Hussein thing is really coming in handy after all. But talking about war in the Middle East, war in Europe, Joe Biden's watch is not a period of prosperity and peace.
Our country's in trouble. It's in big trouble. We've never been in trouble. We'll end up in World War III. These guys are grossly incompetent. They have no idea what they're doing. They have no idea what they're doing. You know in your heart that this country is not going to survive 4 more years of crooked Joe Biden. He's crooked and he's corrupt. And he's incompetent. Other than that, he's doing quite a good job.
Other than that, he's doing
Think of that. He's crooked. He's incompetent. He's the worst president we've ever had. Other than that, he's doing quite a good job.
Other than that, sounded a little like me there, doesn't he? So he ended up tick off all the things. Then other than that, that's pretty good. So President Trump also saying, hey, we're gonna take New Jersey. We're gonna win New Jersey, which is not something that Republicans lay claim to as a rule. President Trump, WildWood, New Jersey.
You could take the 10 worst presidents in the history of our country, add them up. The worst presidents, take them. Give me the 10 worst names. They haven't done the damage to our country that this total moron has done. Okay? He's a moron. And other country leaders who I know, they laugh at him. They can't believe it. They can't believe what they're getting away with.
It's true. World leaders are laughing at us. And, the news media is like, they all laughed at Trump at the United Nations when he lectured Germany about not becoming dependent on Putin for their natural gas. And Trump was proven right, of course, like a visionary, years ahead of the idiots in Germany and in the Democrat Party. Amazing. You know that the best-selling Eden Pure Thunderstorm air purifier uses Oxy technology, and Oxy technology helps quickly destroy many viruses, odors, mold spores, and more in the air in your home, in your office. With thousands of 5-star reviews online, it works like a champ. We've got 2 of them at home. Any smell is going to vanish after just a few seconds with the thunderstorm being on. Odors from trash cans, cigarette smoke, college protesters, and more are no match for the Eden Pure thunderstorm. The powerful thunderstorm sends out these O3 molecules. They seek out and help destroy odors. These molecules even go behind and underneath furniture. Nothing can hide from the thunderstorm. And best of all, no filters to buy and replace over and over again. Saves you money and hassle and mailing away. Come on. Start enjoying your home, your office again. Get several thunderstorms. Right now, you can save $200 on an Eden Pure Thunderstorm 3-pack for a whole home protection. You get 3 units for under $200. You put one in your basement, your bedroom, your teenager's room, your kitchen, anywhere you like to breathe clean, fresh air. You can hold one in your hand. They're only this big. They're not huge pieces of furniture. You need to go to EdenPureDeals.com and use the discount code CHRIS3, Chris and the number 3, to save $200. That's EdenPureDeals.com. The discount code is CHRIS3. Yes, sir. Yeah, Congressman Jeff Van Drew, former Democrat, now Republican. He was there with President Trump. He was at the rally. I've got him and J.D. Vance and this crazy lying lawyer, Democrat lawyer coming up too. Let's go to Seamus calling from Woodbridge, Virginia. Seamus, you're on the Chris Plant Show.
Chris Planty, good morning, sir.
What do you say? What do you know?
Oh, I'm very disappointed in my country, but anyway, I may be stating the obvious, but these protests at all our college campuses are nowhere near organic.
Yeah, that's true.
They are popping up as a result of these leftist billionaires, like who are funding all these nonprofits. And I'll tell you what, when Trump gets back into office, we need to get the House and the Senate together and start passing legislation to put these people not only out of business, but in jail.
Well, I've been saying that George Soros should be indicted if we had a Justice Department for funding the organizations that are fueling, and he's Jewish, for funding these organizations that have the zombie apocalypse happening on our campuses. He's engaged in a conspiracy, RICO statute violations. He's coordinating interstate trafficking of underage lunatics or something. Certainly, with all the ridiculous things that President Trump has been charged with, George Soros could be charged with a whole range of things, and he should be. Sledgehammer. Our friend Danielle called in from Oklahoma and shared a great old friend of the show from the earliest days of the radio show, Eric Carey, a mountain of a man and a great guy, passed away over the weekend, and I don't even know how, but he was a high school football player, and he could take out a whole team by himself. He had arms like legs, and the tattoo down his forearm, Sledgehammer, each letter the size of a cigarette pack, and he's just a giant, and soft-spoken, great guy, wonderful guy, and passed away over the weekend, and we will miss Eric. Sledge, we just call him Sledge, and the Sledgehammer would call in to the show, and we'd take on the screen. It just said Sledge, where the person's name was, and we knew that it was Eric. And he came to a number of our events, our radio show events, and met Eric many times. Great man, great guy, and he will be missed. And since Danielle asked us to play Sledgehammer, well, we want to play Sledgehammer for our friend of the show. All right, now let's get back to the craziness of the day. So many crazy things going on. Senator Bob Menendez, Democrat, with the underage hookers in the Dominican Republic story that just washes away because he's a Democrat. And then he's gold bar Gold Bar Bob or Gold Bars Bob now, Bob Menendez, because the gold bars, and who gave them? There was an Egyptian interest, I think, that was feeding him the gold bars, and cash bundles in every pocket practically of his jackets hanging in the hallway closet. Hey, where'd all this money come from? The Mercedes-Benz in the driveway, that's a gift from a generous Democrat donor, and it's all okay because it's Democrats. No big deal. Well, he has been charged. He crossed the Democrat Party on a couple of things, then suddenly he found himself policy issues, then he found himself charged, right? And now attorneys for Menendez have previewed in court filings, possible defenses the senator could lean on, including potentially putting the blame on his wife. And jury selection begins today in his trial. The New Jersey Democrat foreshadowed possible defenses to bribery and other charges. So Senator Bob Menendez set to stand trial in Manhattan federal court starting Monday, today, in a sprawling corruption case. The news media will completely ignore it. Brought by prosecutors who say the New Jersey Democrat accepted bribes, acted as a foreign agent, and obstructed justice. The one-time chairman of the Senate Foreign Relations Committee vowed to defend himself since an initial indictment alleged that he and his wife accepted hundreds of thousands of dollars in bribes, which included cash, gold bars, and a luxury vehicle. Why don't you just say a Mercedes? Everybody knows what it is. Attorneys for Menendez have previewed in court filings possible defenses the senator could lean on, including potentially putting the blame on his wife. Hey, honey, I've got some bad news. I'm going to try to put you in prison because otherwise it might be me going to prison. And, since I'm Gold Bricks Bob, I'd much rather see you go to prison. Democrats. Speaking of Democrats, a Democrat violently assaulted Hollywood actor Steve Buscemi in a random attack, apparently on a New York City street, and punched him so good that I heard it happened yesterday. This morning he was still in the hospital. And the guy that punched him is a big, strong guy. He's a black guy. He's got a gray beard. I mean, he might be 50 years old. Maybe he's just in his 40s. But he's big, tall. He's probably 6'3". He's muscle-bound. He's a big, strong guy. Goes around in T-shirts that are too small, punching scrawny little white guys like Steve Buscemi. The news media won't cover it that way because, if it were a white guy hitting a skinny little black guy, then it would be a racial story and a hate crime and a big deal, especially if it was a famous Hollywood black guy that was hit by the big white guy. But never mind that. So actor Steve Buscemi assaulted in random attack in crime-ridden New York City. The Gateway Pundit writes, Steve Buscemi, an acclaimed actor known for his roles in classic films like Reservoir Dogs and Fargo, was the latest victim of a random assault in Manhattan's Kips Bay neighborhood, the New York Post reported. The 66-year-old Brooklyn native was walking on 3rd Avenue around 11:48 a.m. Wednesday when an unidentified assailant punched him, causing significant swelling to his face and a left eye. Buscemi was promptly taken to Bellevue Hospital for treatment, while the attacker fled the scene and remains at large. At large. Steve was assaulted Midtown Manhattan, another victim of random acts of violence plaguing our city. Buscemi's publicist told the Post he's recovering. And I heard this morning he's still in the hospital and is grateful for the support of his fans and the community. There's that community again. Although he remains deeply troubled by rising violence. NYPD released surveillance images of the suspect, described as a bearded man wearing a baseball cap, blue T-shirt, and black sweatpants. You know what? That's not a description of him. That's a description of his clothes. And he can change his clothes. He can't change the fact that he's a 6'3" muscle-bound black guy. But that's not a part of the description, right? He's got black sweatpants, but it would be racist to actually describe him. No, so, I mean, are the police really looking for a guy in a blue T-shirt and black sweatpants? Is that what they're looking for? A bearded man? We've become a ridiculous culture. We really have. 6'3", muscle-bound black guy with a gray goatee beard. And he's wearing a baseball cap, it's true, which he might wear frequently, and then again he might not. It was not a MAGA baseball cap, however. Otherwise, that would be a part of the description. Eyewitnesses, including a local worker, reported seeing the incident. I saw he was with a woman, meaning Buscemi, when he suddenly tripped and fell backwards. It's unsettling, especially now. I mean, that's really not the account that matters. That's not it at all. And this has been happening an awful lot in New York City. Random attacks. There was some other Hollywood person. Oh, yeah, Rick Moranis was sucker punched, the comic actor, movie actor and stuff. He was attacked violently just walking on the sidewalk in New York by another guy with a similar description, but no blue T-shirt. So you don't want to look for the blue T-shirt guy when it comes to Rick Moranis being attacked. Also, not exactly a tough guy, Rick Moranis, anything like that. But let's get back to the President Trump rally. Congressman Jeff Van Drew, a New Jersey Republican who used to be a New Jersey Democrat, was at the rally with Trump, and he took them to the microphone for a minute, but it didn't amount to much, quite honestly. He seems like a perfectly nice man, Jeff Van Drew, and a former Democrat, a recovering Democrat. And he was on the Fox News channel early this morning.
It's people wanting to save our country and love America, and what a contrast. So here you have the elite and the mega wealthy and the super cool. And there we had working Americans, whether they were doctors and dentists, whether they were plumbers and pipe fitters, whether they were senior citizens or young people, tons of young people. We had over 100,000 people come. It was organic. And it was all just because they believed in this president, President Trump, and because they believe in the United States of America and the greatness of this country.
Which needs desperately to be saved from the left, which is here, and they've sunk their vampire-like teeth into us. Just extraordinary, and good for Jeff. And he's talking about the billionaires being Joe Biden's people. Joe Biden's at, where was he, Radio City Music Hall or wherever it was, with the billionaires and the millionaires. And then he flew out to California on our government airplanes and Air Force One, where he was, what was that? You could do $175,000 to go visit and get your picture taken with Joe Biden and the Bay Area, Silicon Valley, with the billionaires. And, the Democrat Party is the party of the George Soroses and the Silicon Valley and the New York billionaires and Donald Trump is the Republican Party represents the working man, and Congressman Jeff Van Drew is right. The plumbers and the bus drivers and the police officers and the military people, the people that really make America. And look, billionaires have their role in our society, no doubt, but most of them should stay the hell out of politics because they're too stupid. They think they're geniuses because they got $1 billion, but never mind that. Now, Senator J.D. Vance was not at the rally in New Jersey on Saturday, but J.D. Vance is with President Trump in New York at the courthouse today, and Senator Tuberville is with President Trump at the courthouse in New York today as well, where the crooked crook lawyer, but I repeat myself, Michael Cohen is testifying today, and there are remarkable things going on all around us. Doesn't seem much like the United States of America. But here is J.D. Vance talking about Alvin Bragg, the prosecutor in New York. And, this is about politics. These are Democrats abusing their thimble full of power on behalf of the party. Senator J.D. Vance.
The only thing that Alvin Bragg, the New York prosecutors team, thinks Donald Trump did wrong is that he ran for president in 2024 and he looks to be on the cusp of victory. That is the only thing that this is ultimately about. This is about the fact that President Joe Biden has a failed record as commander-in-chief and leader of this country, and the Democrats can't talk about that. So what they're doing is putting these trials out there and saying, focus on this, not on the fact that the world is on fire and the fact that you have gotten poorer under the presidency of Joe Biden.
That's J.D. Vance, and he's right, of course. Now, Joe Biden, in the meantime, was at a rich person billionaire fundraiser, said he wishes that Trump had injected himself with bleach. Remember, the news media made a big fake. That was another fake news story that the fake news media corruptly made up about President Trump. Oh, yeah, and inject yourself with bleach, like Bleach Bit, and Hillary Clinton wiping out tens of thousands of emails. But Joe Biden took a stab at his Republican rival, former President Donald Trump, Friday during a fundraiser in California, twisting a line he started using of late to attack the likely 2024 GOP presidential nominee. President in the Bay Area on Thursday night for a pair of events with Democrat donors. They're brain donors, most of them. Then slated to travel to Seattle, Washington to raise more cash. See? But Biden said, remember him saying the best thing to do is inject a little bleach into your arm? Of course, he never said anything of the kind, but you're a severely brain-damaged relic, so never mind that. I wish he had done it a little bit himself, injecting bleach. I wish he had injected bleach, Joe Biden said. Amazing. Joe Biden has a sleazy Washington lawyer, also known as a liar. His name is Lanny Davis. And Lanny Davis, he just comes out and he lies all the time about all kinds of things. And, well, it's lawyers and facts. Those are funny things.
Confident that he is telling the truth. And when you have the truth and you don't worry about telling the truth, it gives you confidence no matter what the attack is. He's confident that he's got the facts and they're fully corroborated by others. So all he's going to be doing, no matter what the attack is to say something fully corroborated by other people's testimony.
Right. Yeah, like Stormy Daniels. Yeah, because Michael Cohen, he's got the facts on his side. That is a total crock. He's been caught lying all over the place. He's contradicted himself repeatedly. But when you're a sleazy Washington lawyer, you come out and you say whatever the hell the party wants.
Mr. Trump knew there were no legal services. So that may be the
That's a lie.
Detail that Michael can provide.
That's a lie. The shocking detail. They're looking for one detail that Michael Cohen can provide. No, he can't, and his testimony is entirely unreliable, and you're just sleazeballs that are bringing him up to smear publicly and get sleazy headlines. And the truth is nowhere to be found, and that doesn't matter to them at all. No, he is paying his lawyer, who's his fixer, to work on a pretty simple agreement for her to stay quiet, which the networks do all the time. And Lanny Davis has probably arranged for these agreements many times himself, but never mind, because he's a lawyer.
Remember, as a convicted felon in perjury, he's going to have a hard time telling a story that's not completely impeachable, being asked the fundamental question, are you lying now or are you lying then?
Oops, we accidentally jumped ahead of the next Lanny Davis thing, where he's saying, oh, these are not legal services. No, he's paying his lawyer for, arranging an agreement with a woman, and whatever you think about that, that's why he was paid. And that soundbite was actually Matt Whitaker, who is a great guy, and talking about Cohen being a convicted felon and a perjurer. And he's their star witness. And Lanny Davis says, oh, yeah, he's got the facts on his side. He's got nothing of the kind on his side. I got fried zucchini coming up. You like fried zucchini? I've got some fried zucchini coming up. On CNN, he accidentally told the truth about something. He didn't mean to, but we have it here.
I have lied, but I am not a liar.
Too much to get to, too little time. Let's go to Nancy Pelosi. And this is just a crazy story. Pelosi, what is it, the Oxford Debate Society, and she was just being buried, being humiliated. And she said this crazy stuff about God and guns and those terrible Republicans, and she believes that God is equivalent to abortion. She uses euphemisms. Nancy Pelosi rebuked to her face during Oxford debate, and after condemning Americans clouded by guns, gays, and God. No, that's you guys. You're projecting your own mental illnesses.
These poor souls who are looking for some answers. We've given them to them, but they're blocked by some of their views on guns. They have the 3 Gs, guns, gays, God. That would be a woman's right to choose.
God
and
is a woman's right to choose.
Cloud some of their reception of an argument that really is in their interest.
Now, the Oxford Debate Society, the man who was speaking, just buried her, eviscerated her, humiliated her. But wait a minute. God is a woman's right to choose? God is abortion? Is that what we're talking about?
Sometimes I, too, am a Catholic.
Sometimes I, too, am a Catholic. Yeah, she's talking about Republicans, bless our hearts. Guns, oh, you mean the Bill of Rights, which you're sworn to defend and protect. Gays, which is the only thing that you protect and defend. You know, nobody cares. We're just tired of hearing about your personal lives. Can you guys just get on with your own lives? And God, which is a woman's right to choose. No, God is not abortion. That's not true. And fried zucchini. Do I even have time? I ran out the clock, didn't I? Want to get to fried zucchini. Fried zucchini on, Fareed Zakaria. If he were Fred Zachary from Indiana, nobody would listen to anything that he says. It's the guy who told us about the 72 raisins. You know, it's not 72 virgins when you martyr yourself as a Muslim terrorist, 72 raisins. But he had another wacky one this weekend. I guess I'm going to have to wait until tomorrow to share that one with you.